Okay. Welcome to our Monday spring boot camp. I'm so proud of you guys for showing up. And Sadie's going to be joining us in a few minutes, but we have our guest, Kristen, that's going to co-host with me tonight. And so Sadie she's got a personal event with her daughter. And so she'll be coming in as quickly as she can and listening in and probably have a few things to share with us. But how many loved this session? Yes, raise the hands, give the thumbs up. I was like, oh man, this was such a great session. And I listened to it a couple times over about who to develop as a leader. And, I love that she has said, and this is something that has stuck with me since I've started listening to her podcast back in the fall and things like that when she started and created it and everything. And one saying she says all the time, she's like, leaders are actually created, they're not found. And so many of us in this industry, how many, again, show your hands, you're thinking, well, if I just sign up enough people, there's just going to be a natural born leader. There's just going to be a natural rock star that just skyrockets to the top, right? We've all heard those stories because yes, they've happened, but they're few and far between, right? And so most of the time, and I love that Brittany says this, that leaders are actually created. They're not found. And so it is like you have to take that diamond, you have to take that out of the rough and you have to start polishing it. You have to start speaking into it. You have to give it some love. You have to give it some encouragement. You actually have to show individuals what they're capable of and develop them into leaders. Yes and yes. Okay. So here's one big thing that for myself, I really started to shift probably, oh man, not that long ago. But let's say in the last year, I really took some intentional focus. And I think it was actually, there's a couple key people, but I want to say Fallon Black, or used to be Fallon Black. I'm not sure what her name is now. But she talked about, there was a couple people, and I think it was in the December series when we have the diamonds in December, and they do this series where they're giving their tips and their pointers every day that we look at those. And there was a few of them in there that talked about developing leaders and attracting business builders. And they went months, years in their business where they were just bringing in customers. And they're like, why isn't this like really working? Why isn't this duplicating? Why isn't this happening? Well, because what you sow, you will reap. And so if you are just sowing for customers and you're always just talking about products, you're just talking about the benefits of our products on social media, you're just approaching people about products, guess what? You're only going to get product users. And so I loved when a couple of the leaders started saying when they really made the shift and started talking about business, started talking about the income opportunities, started talking about business builders, started approaching people about business and about opportunity, guess what happened? They started attracting business builders. They started attracting people who wanted to actually build the business. And so you have to be really clear on who you are looking for. Really clear on that. I built this business to Ruby twice on my own. Okay. So what I mean by that is I built it once to Ruby. I fell back to 35 points, okay, because Canada was yet to be opened. It took us 6 years to open Canada. And so I built to Ruby before we were ever even opened in Canada. And we had so many hurdles and so many obstacles and things like that. It just fell apart. And I went back to 35 points and I had to rebuild all over again. And so, but I was doing it all on my own. I pretty much had built all that way just on my own and had twice and had no duplication happening. And really, when I started to shift my focus and shift my language of talking about the opportunity and really didn't get super laser focused on it until the last probably year and a half. And it's amazing what happens when you switch your focus. It's amazing what happens when you switch your focus and you are laser focused on creating builders. You're looking to attract builders. You're looking to attract business builders. Since I have done that, and when I talk about the opportunity in business and things like that, I kid you not, probably 80% of the people I bring in now, and I've brought in over 30 people in the last 60 days, 80% of them are open to sharing, they're open to referring. And then that whittles down a little more to where then I just have that handful of brand new business builders. I've grown by over 500 points in the last 60 days, simply because I am talking about opportunity. I'm talking about the business. I'm talking about that. And that's what I'm attracting right now, because I'm laser focused on duplicating leaders. Okay. Kristen, jump in.
So I have so many questions, first of all, for you, Leanne. So I want to just kind of, that 500 points in the last 60 days and adding that many people to your organization. Are you customizing and personalizing how you're speaking to these people? I mean, obviously not everyone is in it for the same thing. You know, you say that you have a lot of business or people that are wanting to share. How do you, one of the big things we are learning is that we need to listen and find out exactly who it is that we're talking to and who we want to attract. Are you tailor making your conversations to those people?
Great question. And the short answer is no, absolutely not. So I have a system that I developed in the pandemic, because I had told y'all my business grew in the pandemic in a 90-day time period, like 3,000 points in 90 days. So I have grown quickly before. I have created momentum. I've gone into momentum, all of those things. And I created the system. I do not deviate from my 4-step recruiting system. Okay. And so what that looks like is anyone interested? You want me to share that?
Yes.
Quickly?
Oh my gosh,
okay.
yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure
I'm going to mute myself so I'm not gasping this whole time. So hold on.
Okay, so the first step is, so right now, I'm just going to use this as a prime example. I have been in about 15 new conversations just in the last 90 minutes from a post. So I have 15 or 20 conversations going right now with all brand new people that have never used Plexus before. And it was a post. You can go look at my wall. Okay. I put on there, it's springtime. You say May before I say flowers, and somebody gets a goodie bag of my Plexus stuff. So I don't wait. Okay. Those people are commenting now. I'm messaging them right away. And so you can do this with any post. Okay. So when anybody shows interest on your post, this is what I do. Okay. So I message them and I say, thank you so much for showing interest on my post or for reaching out and being curious. Now, before I go dishing out a whole bunch of details, why don't you talk to me and tell me what does interest you? Do you have some specific goals, concerns, things that you're looking to target? And I leave it at that. They'll respond. Yes, I'm looking for weight loss. I'm looking for menopause is a big hot topic, pardon the pun, right now. I'm looking for weight loss, menopause, and this. And I say, oh my goodness, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. So I use feel, felt, found. So the first step of my recruiting system is that thank you so much for being curious, for reaching out. But before I go vomiting Plexus on you, let's talk about your goals and let's talk about what you're interested in. I want to get them talking. I want to hear their pain point. I want to know what they're experiencing. Then I'm going to sympathize. I'm going to empathize with them. Maybe I haven't gone through that, but I definitely know somebody that has. I know somebody in Plexus, world has felt the similar things that they're going through. So I'll go find a testimony if I have to, just to prove to them that I know somebody that has gone through what they're doing. So I use feel, felt, found. And then I will say, what I would love to do is I would love to send you a couple quick videos that will likely answer some questions, explain a few things, and then I would love to hear how you relate. So I use feel, felt, found, and then I ask them if it's okay if I send them a couple videos. I use the microbiome video and the triplex video. Okay. Now with the menopause, or if I have somebody that just was like, oh my goodness, my skin and menopause. So that's the one thing that I will custom tailor. Like very rarely do I deviate from just sending them. I always send the microbiome and the triplex. I might add Helen McFadden's menopause video testimonial. I might add the Joyome collagen video if somebody's looking for something specific. But that's it. So they go watch the videos. They come back. They tell me how they could relate. 99% of people relate to it. Oh my goodness. Yes, I related with everything. Oh my goodness. I can't believe, or I didn't know that your gut was the second brain, this, that, whatever. And then you're going to hear Genevieve all through this. I know, right? I know, right? When I first saw those videos, I not only thought of myself, but I thought of so many other friends and family that could definitely benefit from these products too. What am I doing? I'm already planting the seed for them to start sharing. They're already thinking, I'm getting their wheels turning so that they can be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I do know so-and-so that definitely is going through the same thing. Hey, wait a second. I know somebody that's dealing with this. So I want to plant that seed early so that it's natural for me when they sign up for me to ask them to share. Okay. Because they've already got that planted in them. So one, I'm thanking them for reaching out and being curious. I want to find out what their pain points are and what they're dealing with. Then I sympathize, feel, felt, found is step number 2. Then I send the videos, step number 3. Then I'm going to ask them what they related to in the videos. And I'm going to be like, I know, right? And so maybe would the next step be for me to share with you how you can get started and start thriving in your health and what that would look like? Yes, please. So then I explain to them how they can get started and what that looks like. And I close the deal. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm playing ping pong with somebody and they have responded to me, I have their information in 5 to 6 minutes flat, and I'm getting them in the system all within 10 minutes. And so that is the 4-step recruiting system that I use. I do not deviate from it. I teach that to my team. I duplicate that. That's in our boards, and everything is right there at Leanne is on here. Leah is on here. They can attest to it that they put me in 3-way conversations. They hear the same language over and over and over again.
Which is all about duplication. I mean, I'm sure you guys are just dying when you are talking to these people. You know exactly what to say. You're ready to roll. We've heard Stevie and I were talking like 3,000 points in 90 days. That is quite an accomplishment. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And the thing is that anyone can do it. Now, would I recommend it?
Yeah.
It is crazy time. Okay. But yeah, would I do it again? I absolutely would, because it was a whole lot of fun and things like that. But this is really what, just going through what Brittany was talking about in here. And I really want to dive into this, but it's the 4 pillars of what we do. And it's recruiting, retention, duplication, and leadership. And so those 4 pillars are what we want to focus on to be able to have a legacy business. So I'm hoping that you all filled out these sheets and everything like that, because I found it super interesting just reflecting on these. And I looked at this and I was like, wow, okay. So here's the thing. You have to be really clear about who you're looking for. If you're going to go plant a garden and we're all getting ready, people like garden season and everything like that, I am not going to plant a carrot seed and expect a potato. Right? But that's what we do so often. We plant all of these product seeds and we expect these big duplication business builders to come out of the ground. And then we're surprised when it doesn't happen. Right? I mean, we've all done it. I've done it. I mean, I still catch myself sometimes, right? But if I'm always talking business and I'm always leading with business, I'm leading with vision. I'm leading with, I did it today when I signed somebody up. I just said to her, I said, hey, I know you're in between jobs and things like that. Talk to me and tell me what you're interested in the next season. What do you see yourself doing? What are you passionate about? What do you want to, and so she was like, caught off guard that somebody would take the interest of that. And she's like, wow, she goes, oh my goodness. She goes, I haven't asked myself that in a really long time. I'm gonna have to think about that. And so Brittany talks about that at the end of this episode, where she said, you want to ask a lot of questions and listen really well, but you want to be selling them the dream, right? You want to paint the picture. And so finding out what their goals are. And so I've got this brand new person in the system. I personally think she would be a fantastic builder. She's got influence. She has a following, she just has really sweet spirit and everything like that. She probably can't see herself doing this at this point, right? But what am I going to do? I'm going to cultivate that seed, and I'm going to continue to just say, hey, listen, here's what I really see in you. You have a heart to help people. You're a teacher by trade, and you love teaching. You're passionate about teaching. Could you see yourself teaching and coaching and mentoring a group of women, not just in health products, but what about mindset? What about your godly character? What about teaching them in that, right? I mean, it's going to ignite her, and I know it will, but it's just having the skill of learning how to develop that. So let me ask you this. Imagine, and let's do it. Let's just play the game that she put out there. Okay. Imagine that you're prepping, and we all know what trip we're prepping for. We're all prepping for Mexico this year. You still got time left, to be there and to do it by the end of July, right? We're prepping for Mexico, prepping for Hawaii. It's this luxurious trip. There's going to be the dinner parties. There's going to be dressing up. There's a white night. There's all of these things and so much fun. Okay. Who are the people that you want to be there? And were you able to put 6 people down, their names? Were you able to actually name those individuals? It was a really good lesson for me, because I kind of was like, it was like, did anybody else kind of get scared? Almost like a little like hesitation to put some names down on paper. Just me. Yeah. I got to I did 3 right away. And then I was like, oh, 4. I was like, I'm not really sure. Like, can I put this person's name down? Like, I really kind of hesitated.
I crossed a few out. I put some, and then I crossed a few out, and I was like, no, I can't see myself traveling with them. But they wanted to, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was very eye-opening.
Yeah. And I don't think it wasn't necessarily, I think for me, like it wasn't that I didn't want to travel with them. I think it was an inner hesitation that I had, where I was like, I don't know. I haven't put my finger on it yet, but anybody else want to share? I see Deborah on this call. Deborah McCutcheon. Hi. What about you, Deb? Share with us what was going through your mind when you were, picking out people and putting them down.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of hollering at a baseball game, so here we go. And thank you for pronouncing my last name right.
Oh, I know how to. Yeah, I have to correct Natalie every time.
Guys, nervous. That's my number one thing, is I get nervous and I think, am I worthy? Is it, is this something that's going to happen? And I just get nervous and I start second guessing myself. And I have thought small, and I'm a Southern Italian, stubborn, and no, Deborah, I got to give myself the pep talk. You are worthy. You are deserving of this. And if someone wouldn't have shared with you, you wouldn't be here. So you've got to share it, and you've got to pick those people, and you've got to put them out there. So that's kind of my feedback on it.
Yeah, that's great. Nervous is a great, what's the word? Just a great, that word.
Adjective. Yeah.
Adjective. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Just a great adjective of nervousness, or I can totally relate to that. And I was kind of like, I've heard Genevieve say as well, where it's like, you are looking for 5 or 6 other people that want to go where you want to go. If you want to create a legacy business, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for 5 or 6 other people to have 5 or 6 solid legs to create legacy business. And so I think maybe that might have been a little bit of the hesitation, where it was like, whoo, I'm like getting a little hot here. I'm getting a little sweaty. I got to put 6 names down. And you know what? Like, and then I loved where the next thing was, okay, so those 6 people are probably not going to do it. So go pick 6 more. It's like, and it kind of took that pressure off almost, right? Did you just kind of almost feel a little bit of pressure? And then you're kind of like, you know what? 12 of these people they might not even be, they might not be the people that are creating legacy with me. But here's the thing is that I know that there's other people that are on their way. So I'd love to hear qualities. I mean, even though we put some names down on paper and stuff like that, Kristen, what were some of the, why did you put some of those people's names down on the paper? What were some of the qualities that those people possess that makes you want to travel with them, that makes you want to do life with them and all of that?
So I have a list of things that I look for, and I'm still, we're always trying to uncover those or flip those cups. We just read a book in a leadership group last month about flipping cups. You have 100 cups in front of you, flip them open or flip them over, and you find, your people. But somebody that is enthusiastic, someone that is a natural leader, and that could mean so many different things. That's enthusiastic, energetic, positive. They know how to handle disappointments well, and or they're resilient.
Yeah, emotionally mature. Is that a good word?
Yeah, emotional intelligence is big for me. It's not that I can't coddle people and help them, through their issues, because I do that, but I would love to just build a real strong, resilient, like, okay, that happened. What did we learn from it? Let's move on. And then kind of how they handle their highs and lows, and what their vision is, where they see themselves. If they're confident and sure of themselves in other aspects of their life, then it's going to be an easy transition to help them, bring other people to the table. It's not that I'm not wanting to build people's, what do I want to say here? It's not that I don't want to build their confidence, because as a leader, you have to help that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking for happy, strong. Yeah. I don't know. I sound like I'm pretty rigid, and I'm not, but I don't know. If Stevie or Donna, you know who I am. So you guys can
There are
help
lots
me out
of,
here.
yeah, I mean, there's that fine line of where what she was saying is that leaders are created, but there's obviously leader tendencies, and there's some characteristics that you want to have. You want somebody to be able to have some meat and potatoes substance when they're coming in, so that you're not doing all of the heavy lifting and things like that, right? So I will tell you, like, again, 2 brand new builders that I just brought on. One, she's going to go gold this month, and she started in January. And then another one she's aiming for gold. She just started last month. And, but they came in with big vision. I did not have to create that. I did not have to sell them on that. They had the big vision right from day one. And so that is something that I want to attract, because I'm a big dreamer. I'm a big visionary. So I put that out there. I'm expecting that to come back. So I like somebody too that's self-disciplined, self-motivated, who, you don't have to hold their hand. Now, are you going to develop them as a leader? Yes, because they've not been in this industry maybe before, but they've got leadership qualities. Like, that's where one, she works for the government in mental health, and she coaches people already, and she walks them through all of that. So she's like, I feel like I have some of these things, but I want to do it with what I'm passionate about. I want to help women and things. So she's already got a good foundation. She's like, but I'm teachable, I'm coachable. I love those aspects. So there's that line of having some leadership, but still being teachable and coachable, because, hey, listen, don't go think that you can do it on your own when you've never done this before. Why not learn from somebody who's walked, gone through the path before you, that can help you so that you don't stumble in, what we already have. So she mentioned chemistry. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, chemistry. Yes. Yes, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No. She mentions chemistry. And I think that that's super important too, right? Is that you don't want to be butting heads with somebody all the time, and you don't want them thinking they can do it their own way. At the same time, it is our own business. And so it's like you want to let people have the freedom and the choice to do things that way. But let me just say, if it's not working, if it's not working, and you've got somebody who has just grown by 500 points in the last 30 days, have a track record, and earns all the prizes, all these things, like, why wouldn't you want to learn from somebody that is doing it? And that goes back to what we talked about last week. If you're a leader and you're leading somebody, people want to leaders who, let me say it this way, because I was going to say followers, and I'm not really looking for followers. I'm looking for leaders. I want to be a leader of leaders. I'm not really wanting to be a leader of followers. I want to develop leaders, and I want to develop legacy leaders. And so if I am looking for leaders and things like that, I'm not looking for people to just follow and be a little puppy and things like that. I want to give them the freedom to have creativity, to walk in their own way, to figure things out and all of that. But at the same time, there needs to be an aspect of being teachable and coachable and being able to lock arms with somebody and have that chemistry to say, yeah, we're going to do it together, right? So being self-motivated, self-disciplined, trust. She talks big about trust. How important is trust, right? Because when somebody's, Jody, I'm going to call on you and put you on the spot. What are some of the key things that you look for in your leaders that you bring on?
Thanks for calling on me. So I definitely, the key leaders that I look for is people that I can be very compatible with, like you're talking about when we're discussing things. Like-minded people can accomplish amazing things. And I think that is something that's really important. And when you are posting, that's the kind of people I think that we need to talk to, who we were before we started. We need to really, reach out and minister to that person that you can see working with you. So, to me, I really love people that are coachable, but being compatible with your thinking and all those kinds of things are really important to me. The other thing, Kristen mentioned excitement and the joy, someone who has joy. I really look for people that have joy, because joy is an inside job. And if you can find people that have that joy right up at front, that's half your battle right there, So,
oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
And joy is contagious, right? Joy is contagious. So that leads right into where she talks about culture eats strategy for lunch. What kind of culture are you creating on your team? And so is it going to be a team call where you get on and you're like, we're all a bunch of bumps on the logs, and let's just talk about how bad our day was, and let's just, go eat dirt and worms? No, joy is contagious. And so I love that aspect, which is something I didn't think about. That's not, a characteristic or quality that I had put down, but I'm going to add that to my list. I love it. Love it. Love it. Does anybody else have something else they want to add that wasn't said? Is there any other characteristic you feel is important? Anyone? Good.
Well, I typed in there just the, which I was taking notes, so I don't know if somebody said it or not, but just you want somebody who's not going to be negative and complain about, if something didn't go right, or have the excuses and blame everything else. You want people who always try to see the silver lining, and, well, this didn't work, but maybe there's a reason, it's not their time, whatever. I think that's really important, is to just be with the people that aren't the negative Nancy's, and, who just want to, uplift people and be fun. I mean, I've been doing this for 8 years, and the girl that I typically go on the trips with the leaders retreats, and, we room together, we just have a good time. And you want to do this business with people that you're going to have fun with and enjoy walking side by side. So that's really important.
Yeah. Alyssa says positive accountability, and Lacey says show up and be consistent. Yes. You want people that have those characteristics, those attributes where, which she talks about that in saying people leading themselves are usually trying to accomplish something. So if you see somebody who is leading themselves, they're leading themselves well, maybe they're leading their kids well, they're parenting well, they've got goals, they're, yes, skills are learnable and teachable, but some of these things, like Jody said, like joy is an inside job. People leading themselves is kind of that self-discipline, self-motivation, all of those things. So looking for leaders who are leading themselves. And you know what? I'm just going to be completely honest. There's a time and a place to binge watch. Okay. But if you're binge watching Netflix like 5 nights a week or six nights a week, and you'd much rather do that, like I just don't have time. I don't have time to binge watch Netflix on a regular basis or whatever, like, you know. And so, yes, is there a time and place for that? But if that is your go-to every night at 9 or 10 o'clock, when you could put in an extra few minutes of personal development, or you can listen to an audiobook, or you can read a few pages or do something like that, you know, those are the people I'm looking for. Those are the people that are going to make a difference in what we're doing. So being intentional, that was another big thing. People that are intentional. And I want to be intentional, right? I want to be intentional with the people that I am looking for. Cheerleaders too. Yes. So Leanne says cheerleaders. People are, now this is a tricky one. I'm just going to be completely, yeah, growth mindset. Absolutely. What's the, I want to say the opposite of the growth mindset, but what's that book that talks about, and what's, it is the opposite of growth mindset, but I can't put I'm like, what's the word? There's a book that I've read it a few different times and I've totally just lost it. But growth mindset is so fixed. That's it. Yes. Thank you, Alyssa. Fixed mindset. Yes. Individuals that have a growth mindset over the fixed mindset. So good with that. Now, here's what I was going to say about Leanne's comment, cheerleaders, because here's the thing. In all honesty, if that is not your love language, and I will say that is not really my love language. I don't have to be shouted out. Okay. I'm just going to say this. And I was on the leaders board 3 weeks out of 4. Okay. And was #1 worldwide just a couple weeks ago. And my leader, I didn't even notice. and so, and I was okay with that. I was like,
good
that's
job.
okay.
Good job.
Yeah. You know, so because I don't feel like I have to be recognized like that. Do you know what I mean? That's not, but I did end up pointing it out to her after 3 out of 4 weeks, because I wanted a post made, because I had so many new followers, and I just really wanted them to see it. It wasn't about my ego or anything like that. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, do you mind making a post? Because I've been on the leaders board 3 out of 4 weeks. So when it's not your, when it's not necessarily like, you don't need that pat on the back, or that's not your love language, you have to learn it for people where it is important to them. And so people will work for praises over raises. And that is something I've had to learn. And so I try to do my best in shouting out my team and shouting out those that are, hey, I see you. I see what you're doing. And so just in saying that, that's where sometimes we have to have grace as well, because we have to recognize that not everybody is wired the same. And so I am not a normal cheerleader. That's not my gift, I would say. That's not necessarily my personality. I don't need to be shouted out or feel like I needed that validation or different things like that. But so many people do. So I have to be really conscious of that. Does that hit home for anybody? Like, is that Deborah shaking her head saying yes? And so as a leader, I feel it's so super important that we do recognize our team, and that it's kind of like, because there's been, I'm just going to be completely transparent. There's times where I'm like, well, I don't need to do that for them. I don't need to do that. If I don't need that, why do they need that? And then I'm like, oh, no. That is wrong thinking. I'm like, I am going to try to lavishly love on these people that enjoy praises, that enjoy being seen, that that's part of their love language and all of that. So does that make sense? I just think that you need to be aware of that, that a lot of the times, you know, and to recognize that. And I think that's just a leadership thing where we start to recognize what makes other people tick.
I was just going to say that just getting out of our own comfort zone and doing things that might be a little bit, make us a little bit uncomfortable to make everyone else, you know, the common good. I mean, that's just part of the leadership thing too.
Yeah.
And realizing that, because, and I'm going to name Stevie up there, but Stevie and I are very similar. So I'm going to just totally make this up. Stevie might need me to shout out every time she's in a health match with someone, you know, but that will make her feel confident and will drive, you know, more business her way, hopefully, or more leaders maybe her way. So
yeah, I think, and this is really something that, and this is kind of a whole nother topic about learning as leaders, other people's love language and what makes them tick, the basic human needs and different things like that. What, who operates on what level and what's really important to them and what personality they are. And that is personal growth. That is developing yourself as a leader and figuring out, because you're bringing in people that operate on all different levels. So what's important to them? And can I be very generous with what's important to them? Can I go over and above to speak their love language, right? And to communicate with them. And so people are going to influence people. We know that. And so good, bad, or ugly, right? And so that's where creating that culture. She says the quote here, she said, my advice to you when it comes to creating leaders is look for leaders, knowing that your leaders are going to influence other team members, knowing that there's going to be sideline relationships and things like that. You want to have leaders who are leading other people well. They're leading themselves well, and they're leading others well. Operate with integrity and honesty and all of those things as well, right? So how can you tell if someone has leadership potential? They can lead themselves. They have a desire to do what's right, and you feel like you can trust them. Those are three just key important things, right? So all of these have to do with character, because character is what longevity is made of. So what about if we started to flip our script and we're looking for longevity? We're not looking for somebody who's just here for a sprint. We're looking for leaders who want to develop and want to change and create legacy and longevity. And then that's what she said, not character related, but super important. That's where chemistry comes in. So we want to play the long game. And we want to, if somebody told you this is going to be easy, they all lied to you. They lied to you. And if you're telling people that, stop it. You know, stop it. Because one, you're doing them an injustice, right? They're expecting, and here's what I did for a long time. You would probably gasp at the number of golds that I have on my team that are non-existent because I got them to gold. Like, I mean, they don't even know how to enroll somebody. Okay. Because I just took it upon myself that I'm going to help them, and just hopefully they'll catch the vision along the way. Hopefully they'll, and I'm like working. And I'm finally like, yeah, this is not cool. I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to be. I'm like, and that's what I mean by I got myself like, you know, well, I don't even think I probably had a gold when I was like Ruby, like in the 2 times that I did it, I did not have like leaders. And so it's really where I switched my focus. And that is my main focus now, is where it's like, no, I'm looking for leaders. I'm painting a picture. I'm painting a big dream. I'm painting legacy. I'm asking questions. I want to find out their goals. I want them to be able to master these 4 pillars that we need to be focused on: recruiting, retention, duplication, and then leadership. And that's all going to take influence. So ask yourself, how's my influence right now? How's my influence in each of these areas? How's my influence in recruiting? How's my influence in retention? Because that's going to be building relationship and keeping people on the products, letting them know that you care about them. You care about their health. You care about where they're going in their future. and then duplicating, making sure that they know they can trust you. Hey, that you're going to be here for the long haul, that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it, right? And so how about having some sticky power? How about being that leader that's like, hey, I've been here it'll be 11 years this year. I've went through the ups and the downs. I've went through where we didn't get our products for 2 months and we got charged duty and all those crazy things that happen that Americans have no idea about. We went through all that. Natalie Fuller and I were the longest standing Canadians. And we were told it was going to take 6 to 12 months to open Canada, and it took 6 years. 6 years. So how about having some sticking power and teaching that sticking power from the beginning? What if you started talking legacy right from day one? What if you started talking about big dream? Because yes, will that weed some people out? It probably will. But if you develop the art of communication and you're being intentional about painting the picture, telling them that this is a long game, but it is going to be worth it. It's going to be life changing, right? If you said to somebody, if it takes you 10 years to create a 6-figure income, would it be worth it? 99% of people say yes. Okay. There's people that go to school for 10 years to create that, and they come out with oodles and oodles of debt and all of that, right? But people don't realize that that's what they can do here if they keep showing up, they keep developing themselves, they keep plugging in, they keep learning, they keep pivoting when they need to. All of those things. Will it be worth it? If it did take 10 years? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else have anything else they want to add?
Gina had a question.
Yeah.
Gina, do you want me to read it, or do you want to go ahead and
well, here's my thing. I see people that I know would just flourish. I know that if they loved it like I loved it and saw the vision, that they would just be remarkable. But these are people that have not committed to ever trying the products. And I want to express to them, I just know you would be amazing at this. I know how people respond to you, and I know your influence, but I just scare the crap out of them. Do you ever just start those conversations with people that you can see that with? I don't know.
Yep.
That's what I was
Absolutely.
wondering.
I did 2 tonight. I messaged them, and I'll usually do a voice message because I want them to hear my voice. I want them to know that I'm sincere, but I will send a message and I'm like, hey, listen, I did it to 2 people tonight. Hey, listen, I know we don't know each other very well, but I feel like we do because of social media. And I know I've never met you, but here's what I see. I see that you have a heart for people. I know that you're interested in all natural solutions and things, and you're real family orientated. Those are the people I like to work with. Have you ever thought about creating an additional income from home or from your phone? And now I've got 2 people looking at videos and they're furthering the conversation. So I want to, and then I want to hear from them. I want to hear if they say yes or no, depending on what they say. This is where you are going to tailor some things. It's not as cut and dry when you're reaching out to people like that, but I'm sending a message like that. They're coming back, and the one girl was like, yeah, I actually, I have a makeup business that I do and everything, but I'm super interested in nutrition and I want to get my holistic health, whatever. And she's like, what company are you with? And I just come out and say, I'm with Plexus Worldwide. Have you ever heard of them? She goes, briefly, but I don't know anything about them. So then I go into my system, and my system will say, well, the products I use focus on gut health. Are you aware of how that can help you thrive in your health, your wellness, your energy? But also we have a platform that creates an additional income stream that is out of this world. Is that something that interests you? Because if it is, I'd love to send you some information. Yes, absolutely send it. Okay, perfect. I'm going to send you a couple quick videos that are going to explain a few things, answer some questions, and then I'd just love to hear your thoughts. And so I'll use, an opportunity video. I'll maybe share testimony with them if I'm approaching them about the business and things like that. But lead with your heart. Lead with being genuine. And what do you see in that person that sparks that interest? Hey, listen, I don't know. And this is Genevieve. It may or may not be for you. But man, oh man, I see A, B, and C quality in you. And I would love the opportunity to work with you because I know you would kill it. I know you would be absolutely fantastic at what I do. And I also, I will lead with too, hey, you know what? Over the last 3 years, people found, and this is from Jason Dorsey. We've had him talk twice, 2 or 3 times or whatever. Hey, there's been so much instability and uncertainty in the world in the last 3 years. Are you looking for something that can create an additional stream of income that actually doesn't cap you, can bring some stability to your family, bring in an additional income that can give you some wiggle room, and that will give you the ability to create stability and certainty in your family? Because that's the language that people are looking for. They're looking for stability. They're looking for security. They're looking for being their own boss. They don't want to check in 9 to 5 anymore. People like to work from home. Look at how many people, Plexus Worldwide, couldn't get people to come back to the office. You know, they're no different than anybody else. There's this mass exodus that happened. I sat here with a government worker in my house, and she said, oh my goodness, yes, she goes, we only work 3 days a week in the office because we can't get people to come back. So she goes, I still get to work 2 days remotely at home. So they're out there, and that's what they love. That people are loving the fact that they can work from home. So why are we not talking about that? Why are we not using that to our advantage right now? You know, we have what people are looking for. Questions, comments, snide remarks. We're about closing up here.
Well, that was awesome. I will say that. Thank you so much. And I wish I had my phone recording because I'm like,
Well, this is
I
recorded,
can't even
so
write that down.
Yeah, no, this is recorded, so you can go back and look at it. But you know what? I have it roll off my tongue because I rarely deviate from it. Like it's the same language to, like, you know, if I'm approaching a business person, or if somebody approached me about products or whatnot, it's, you know, yes, those systems, I don't deviate from them. So, Kristen, you have anything you want to add?
I would just love to pick your brain for like 3 more hours, because you are just so exciting and you're so to the point, black and white. Absolutely love it. I was just very thrilled and honored that Sadie asked me to jump on this call. The whole time I've been like, oh gosh, should I have said that? Should I have said that? But hey, we're all here. The big thing that I love and that I know that I look for and that I want to show up as 100% myself and be transparent in everything that I do with the people that are joining me. And I feel like that's a big thing that we all just need to work on, is just to be comfortable with ourselves and know why we're doing this, know why we are, you know, continuing to share what we love, and just bettering ourselves every day. So
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely. You know what? You're not here for everybody either. I
Mhm.
think that's a big thing we have to get in our heads and our hearts,
Right.
is that not everybody is going to like our style. Not everybody is going to necessarily like us. Okay. But you're not looking for everybody. You're looking for your people. You're looking for your people that you have chemistry with. You're looking for your people that you want to travel with. You're looking for your people that want to do life with. And so that's where you will attract that, when you're being your authentic, genuine self.
Love it. Love
Yes.
it.
Okay, well, ladies, thank you so much for showing up. Thanks so much for being here on a Monday night, because you could have been anywhere else but here, but you chose to be here. So I appreciate you all. Honor you guys for being here, and thanks for taking the time to be with us this Monday night. So we'll be back. We've got a couple more. I think we're halfway through. We're halfway through. We've got 3 more weeks. And so next Monday, we'll be on chapter 4, and we'll continue to have our discussion. So excited for convention too. Who's excited for convention? I'm getting all excited. I was shocked. I did some shopping last week. So.
I need to get some boots.
If you can just hit the stop the recording, make sure
Yes.
that, and we'll get that out to anybody that wants it. But